Hello and welcome to an honest walkthrough and review of Wind Shades by Sonic Cinema. This has just been released and is the follow-up of String Shades. I've done a whole walkthrough and review on that instrument. I'll leave a link on the screen if you want to check that out. But essentially this library is a texture-based library. We have 5 core articulations, 50 custom presets, 5 mic positions, will require the full version of Kontakt 6.8 or later. That's extremely important, but I feel the price reflects that. The intro price is £79, not bad at all. Full price £99, and if you own String Shades, you get 25% off as well. So that's only going to cost you about £75, which is great. Now, for all the details, check out the manual. That's what I've got in front of me. But before we jump into the plugin, the 5 core articulations: undulating, emotive, pulsing, wild, trills, and fragments. You can pause the video and read that if you fancy, but essentially undulating is a warm, open sound that weaves and undulates freely. It's in the name. Emotive, with a rich and passionate sound. This articulation really emphasizes the emotion and adds sense of life into each note. Pulsing, again, quite self-explanatory. Wild, trills. It's trills. What I like about this patch is you play softly. I think you get the minor trills, you play hard, you get the major. It might be the other way around. It does tell you when you get to that. And fragments, fragmented woodwind sound. Let's now move into the full version of Kontakt. So this is the main page. These are your 5 articulations. You have this really nice character patch, which you have to turn on. It comes off, at least with the patch that I preloaded. And if you want to mix the sounds that are in it, you have these 5 really cool sounds that you can turn on and off just by clicking it there and then mixing them in. We'll definitely check those out individually as well. You then, of course, have your mic positions down here and your global mix. I love the proximity knob because if you adjust that, it adjusts all those mic positions for you if you don't want to mess around. They, of course, have their own mix as well. Again, something we'll have to check out. All your standard effects, some EQ, reverb, degrade the sound if you really want some delay, and nice envelopes. Always nice to see an envelope, especially with textural sounds. Of course, their lovely little mapping system they have in the background, where if you have multiple articulations on, simply by doing that, you can say, well, I just want this articulation to play with that range, and you can even fade it in with that button as well. Adjust that one there, do something similar. If you don't like it, just hit reset. I love this feature of this library. A sequencer, I never personally use it. Extra information, credits, and tech specs in the background as well. I feel it's time to jump into some samples. Let's just start by going through our different articulations. I'm going to use their mix. We'll solo that for now, and then we'll go into the separate mic positions in a second as well. What I love so much about this, I know there's only 5 core articulations, but they're so emotive and you can build up texture so quickly and easily with this character knob, or simply having that off and have this beautiful intimate sound as well. And of course, I love their own mix as well. It's so easy and quick to use and it sounds so real, but that is undulating. I will go back into character and change that from haze to dream state now while we move into the emotive one as well. You can actually change it as well up here just by clicking that and have those there so you can stack, and the key switches as well at the bottom, which is always nice to have. But let's move into emotive. Oh, and you can also pull it from the patch. I'll show you actually quickly. This is what you get when you download it, as it is a Kontakt instrument, not a Kontakt player instrument. So you get a folder with all the instruments, so you can see singles there, pairs, as they always like to do, and designed 20 different designed sounds, which we will be checking out. We won't really be looking at the pairs. They're quite self-explanatory and not something I need to show you. But of course, within the plugin, you can, as I'm doing right now, turn on and off different articulations. Again, another beautiful sound. I love that character knob as well. And we'll move on to our next articulation and next character, flickers and pulsing. What a gorgeous sound, and just so emotional. All these sounds sound so beautiful, so realistic, so emotive, and work so well standalone. The character just adding that extra bit of texture. Now, moving on to our wild trills, and as you can see there, as I said earlier, to perform minor trills, play the keys softly. Perform major trills, play the keys hard. And we're going to put stargazing on for this. We will look at these separately in a second as well, along with our mic positions. I really like the fact the velocity layers controls whether it's minor or major. Very easy to do. Now, moving on to our last but not least, fragments and apocalypse. Another beautiful coarse sound, organic, full of texture. Not my favourite out of all of them. I think my favourite has to be the pulsing. Anyway, let's look at these different mic positions. So far we've just been using the mix. Let's just ramp these all up and listen to them one at a time. I'll put pulsing on, make sure character is turned off, and any reverb as well is completely turned off as well, so you can hear it for its full beauty. So let's just listen to the close. Probably needs a little bit of a tack or just a slight bit of reverb, of course, to help with that tail, but that's not a problem at all. Let's move on to our mid. Just a breath of fresh air in there. You can hear like the windiness of the wind instruments. That's one way to put it. Far. Little on the quiet side standalone, but I wish they were a little bit more different. I must admit, I am not noticing much difference between them. Let's turn our expression up. Of course, nice tail there. Let's go back to the close. So I kind of wish there was a bit more difference between the far and ambient, but the close is nice and close. And when you mix multiple in, really just adds a bit to it, and a subtle bit of reverb as well, just to glaze everything together. But overall, that is your mic positions. Let's solo and mute it at the same time and put the character on so you can just hear what these are actually doing. And I believe if you hit shift, you can. Well, actually, no, you can. You don't even have to hit shift. Just click them. You can have multiple on at the same time, which is nice. So that's your haze. Let's look at dream state. So these are quite usable as standalones as well. That's a really cool background sound. Flicker. Cool effect. Stargazing. And then Apocalypse. I think Flicker and Dream State are my favourite, but textures, again, the sounds, really high quality sounds that you can use as standalone or to mix in with the articulations that you have in front of you. But really simple, easy to use UI. As I said, we're going to skip over the pairs because that's simply this, turning 2 on and un-soloing and muting. Actually, let's just solo the mix. I've done something funky over there. Things like that. Actually, I think the fragments would work really nicely together. So you can see how easily it is to build thick textures, but that's that. Let's look at some of these designed. We can't look at all, we don't have time to look at all 20, I should say, but we'll flick through a couple. This is the first one. It is At Peace. very paddy. We'll skip to number 5, Echoes. Very usable, I like that one. Number 10, Jades. I don't know why, but I'm getting very spacey vibes from this library. Right, 15, Opus. And the last one we'll check out is The End. Like an orchestra tuning up. That's a cool sound. But 20 in total of those to play through. I've given you a little taster of what you can expect from this library. Overall, high quality textural sounds. They are a little on the similar side. I think I definitely prefer the string ones, but for woodwind, if you're looking for something different to add texture, something organic, something different, I can definitely recommend this library. I love mixing in the character as well. It's quite easy to play out of the box to make sound good. This is definitely turning out to be a fun collection from Sonic Cinema. I'm almost expecting them to do a brass shades next, and we'll definitely be checking that out if that is the case. But I have hoped you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of this library down in the comments. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.